Hello everyone, it's Anya here. I am back today with another video for Ophelia Crafts. Now, in one of my previous videos I did a special background, and in this video I'm doing another special background. I've used the hexagon embossing folder, inked it up, pushed it through the Big Shot, and I ended up with something that looked like this. So I was just trying out things. I'd been watching some tutorials by Jennifer Maguire, and she came up with lots of backgrounds using embossing folders, so I thought I would give it a go, and this was one of them. I then had to turn it into a card, so I'm going to show this to you how I made this. So first of all, we're going to start with the embossing folder. Then we're using the work of art stamp set to create the flower. I'm just using a couple of images there, and here in Everything Eleanor there's this slender stem, and that's the one that I like using because I think this one is a bit too big for the flower on here. Alright, so those are the two stamp sets that we're using. The embossing folder we're using as well, but we're going to start with creating the flower. So I'm using the Mossy Meadow for the leaves and the stem, and the Hello Honey for the petals of the flower, and the middle of the flower I'm doing in crumb cake. So let's get started with the stem. I like starting with the stem because then I know where I'm supposed to end with my flower. There we go. And then I'm going to put the leaves on as well, as we're doing the green, or Mossy Meadow in any case. There we go. I might have to just slightly adjust some of the cutting there as I'm going to sort of to one side, but that's okay. That can be adjusted later on. Closing the Mossy Meadow, and let me put the Hello Honey close by. So the way we're going to create this flower is by overlapping the heart. I'm just making sure that it's nice and stuck to my block. So as I've already got my stem there, I'm just going to put the first one there. Then I'm going to overlap in such a way that the heart petals, so to speak, overlap. And you just keep going all the way around. Making sure that in the end, hopefully, you meet up again. There we go. I'm just going to put a slight one in the middle there so that it's covered in the middle. Then we're going to move on. Let me just clean the ink off of the heart. Then we're going to move on to the middle, and for that I will need my crumb cake, and I'm going to set a circle in the middle. I do it a few times to build up the colour. There we go. Yes, I'm going to have to trim off a slight slender of a little bit there, so let's just get out my cutting board and we'll just make sure that the flower is a bit more centered. See, this is what you get when you pre-cut your paper. I generally don't do that. I just do the stamping and then I cut my paper to size, because then you're not so worried about the stamping being in the middle or straight or whatever. But of course for the video I was trying to be more efficient and making it look so that, you know, making it all prepared so it would not take so much time. Now for the background. So we have this, we have the card, and we have the background, but we still have to turn this into a special background. So with the embossing folder. This time we are going to ink up the large side, and I'm just going to do it like this. Don't worry about your embossing folder, you can just clean that off quite easily. I generally use wet wipes. You can also just run it under the tap and it's clean. Okay, so there's quite a bit of ink on there. Then what you do is you take your piece of paper, you lay it down, do not move it now, close the embossing folder, pick it up, and I'm just going to run it through the Big Shot. Let me just bring it closer. And I'm going to put the plate on top. You've got to put your platform on tab 1, so tab 2 is on the other side, and we're going to run it through. And now, the surprise now is of course what we get, which bits are going to be coloured, which bits are going to be raised. Ta-da! Look at that. I think that looks nice. Now this one, I actually inked up the back, the smaller part of your embossing folder, and I ended up with the sort of the back of the embossed image being inked, so I just used that. This one, as you can see, is the embossed image like we normally use it, and the debossed ones, yeah, the debossed is coloured in this case now, so yeah, quite a nice effect. What you also could do is, in a lighter colour, do this. I've now done this in Hello Honey, but had I done that, for example, in So Saffron, I would have now been able to go over it. Let's do that. I'm going to go over it with So Saffron. So you could, if you have a lighter and a darker colour, you can easily turn it around as well, so that my lighter would have been in the background and my darker would have been on top, like I did with the green mossy one that I did, you know, with the chevron folder. Don't think this is going to make much of a difference actually. It might, when it's dry, it might show up differently, but it's not making a difference at the moment. So I do think you need to start with your lighter colour and then put your darker one on top. But in any case, this still is a nice background to use in our card. Where is my card? Right, okay, let's start assembling the card now. So we have the card base, which is 5.5 by 8.25, scored at 4 1/8. You then fold it towards the mountain. Then we are going to attach the embossed onto there. So let me just put some glue on there. Put enough glue because you know, the embossed paper needs more glue because it's textured. Then I'm going to put my flower, but I wanted to have something extra. Here I put this ribbon of Mossy Meadow, and here I think I'll put this one here and then put my flower on there. That will be a little bit too wide, I can tell, but that's okay. I'll have to use my scissors just to quickly cut that off. Sort of 3/4 of the way down. Put this down again. Make sure you use enough liquid glue because of the embossed image. You need to you know, get that glue into the embossed bits as well. So there we go, I've cut that off, and then now let's put this on with some dimensionals. There we go. Take the backing off. I like to put one in the middle as well, just so it doesn't go down in the middle. There we go, and I think I might put it quite high up so we've got a little ribbon of mossy meadow going underneath. There we are. Okay, so that's 2 cards with the same technique. So I've made the flower, but also more importantly I have done the embossed background with the ink inside the embossing folder. This is what it looks like now, so I'll need to go and clean that off. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I gave you some ideas for you to then try as well. So your embossing folders are not just for embossing, but also put some ink in them and see what you get. Thanks for watching. Bye!